So first let's talk about atoms. Atoms are the smallest particle that retain all the properties of the element. That is why it's very important, right? So if you have a hydrogen atom, it has all the properties of hydrogen, okay? If you have a sodium atom, it has all the properties of sodium, right? It will have the same color as sodium, it will react in the same way as a sodium block, right? Of course, we may not be able to see the small particle, but it has all the characteristic property. For example, if you have an iron atom, it will get attracted to a magnet because iron is attracted to a magnet, right? So oxygen atom, same thing, right? And in chemistry, we denote the atom using the symbol of the element. So that is why we learned the whole symbol, so that we don't have to write the full word hydrogen. We just write H. Sodium, so sodium is natrium in Latin, so we write Na. Na doesn't mean some other symbol. So sodium is not SO, okay, Na. And all these symbols are either one letter or two letters, and the first letter should be capital. Like hydrogen is just one H. Sodium is Na. Helium is He, okay. Chlorine is Cl. Oxygen is O. So what we are really representing here is, this is one atom of hydrogen. Similarly here, one atom of sodium, and so on. Okay. So there's one atom of chlorine gas. Atoms usually they're considered spherical, so that's why I've drawn this circle. But normally when we write, we don't even have to draw the circle. So we have drawn it in this form of a ball here. So here you can see hydrogen, sodium, helium, chlorine, and so on. We are all talking about atom, which is the tiniest particle that has all the properties of the substance, and it takes part in a chemical reaction. Now, can an atom exist alone always? Sometimes it can, sometimes it doesn't. So it combines with other atoms of itself, or if it's very reactive, it will combine with other atoms of other compounds, other elements, right? So that is why we come to this concept of molecules of element. Because as I said, remember, atom may or may not exist independently. There are certain atoms which cannot exist alone, and one famous simple example is hydrogen. Hydrogen atom, it cannot exist alone because it is not stable. It needs a friend. So it combines with another hydrogen atom. So you can visualize it like this, like there are two balls or two spheres of hydrogen side by side, they are chemically combined. So this now becomes one molecule of hydrogen. Can you guys see? And now you can see why we represent it as H2. But please remember, you don't write the 2 here. That looks like an H square. It looks like a mathematics class. Do not write it here. This has a very special meaning. So we have to write it as H2 as the subscript here. So this is one molecule of hydrogen. But there are certain elements like sodium where the atom can exist independently. So if I talk about one molecule of sodium, it is the same as one atom. So here this is one molecule is same as one atom. So one molecule of sodium. But oxygen cannot exist alone. So there you have O2. Similarly, chlorine cannot exist independently. So we have Cl2. Here it is helium. Helium can exist independently. So one molecule of helium. So the important thing is, atom may or may not be able to exist independently, but molecules can always exist independently, always. That is why molecule is very important, because our world is made up of molecules, these which can exist independently by combining with atoms of the same type like here, or with other elements. So here you can see we are talking only molecules of the element. So for example, I hope there is oxygen in your room. So there is oxygen in this room. So does it exist as O or O2? Can you guys tell me? What are you breathing right now? So the oxygen gas that you are breathing right now, is it O or O2? What do you guys think? Super. So the correct answer is O2. Because just what we discussed, the molecule is O2. Why it is O2? Those you learn in detail. Why not O3? Well, O3 is ozone. Why not just O? Because it cannot exist independently, right? So it is unstable. It wants to combine with another oxygen. So this is the important thing. The world is made up of molecules, and that is why molecules are important. Otherwise, we could have just dealt with atoms. Why talk about molecules? Because they can exist independently. But in some cases, like helium, it's a noble gas. It doesn't need to combine with itself also. Just one molecule is same as one atom. Okay? These are called monoatomic. One molecule, same as one atom. These are called diatomic. One molecule having two atoms. Triatomic, one molecule having three atoms. So this is the important concept, that atoms, molecules, both are tiny particles, but what is the difference? Molecule can always exist independently. That is why it may be made up of more than one atom. Clear? Very important.